Hi there, welcome back to the channel. In this episode of Exciting Careers in Power Systems Industry, we are going to discuss opportunities as a Power Systems Studies Specialist. What is the role of a Power Systems Studies Specialist? How do you become a Power Systems Studies Specialist? And why you should consider becoming a Power Systems Studies Specialist. Once the model is created, you will see the senior engineer applying some rule of thumbs, some simplifications. The engineer may lump a bunch of loads together. They may use direct buses instead of cables. Sometimes small induction motors may be ignored. If there is lack of information from the utility, simplifications could be made by connecting an infinite bus. At each step of the way, when you see these changes and modifications and simplifications being made, you should make an effort and ask the questions politely and make sure that you understand why these simplifications are being made, why is it okay to ignore certain things, and how does it help us in the overall power system study process. You may have to go through this exercise on multiple projects. The nature of some projects may be very complicated, others might be very simple and straightforward. Once you run the studies, there are different types of settings that you have to take into consideration. After running the study, you'll basically get the results. Analyzing the results is also a key competency of a power system study specialist. You need to know what you're looking at. You need to know what you're looking for. Have an understanding of what is normal and what is abnormal. And then presenting that in the form of a report with a summary, conclusion, recommendations, is also an integral part of power system studies. The look and feel of every report is different. A short circuit study is going to look very different from a protective device coordination study, which will again be very different from a grounding study. When you go through multiple projects with different scopes, different complexities, slowly but surely, you're going to develop the confidence that is required to independently conduct, execute, and deliver a power system study. Now, what are the benefits of becoming a power systems study specialist? Over the course of my career as a power systems engineer, spanning more than a decade, working in different geographic locations, on projects of different complexity, size, and scale, in different industries for different clients, I've recognized that the demand for power systems studies specialists is increasing and it is only going to increase. The reason is that a lot of industries, a lot of operations, facilities are now being required to conduct arc flash studies. And this is the law. The code is requiring the facility operators to apply arc flash labels, warnings, PPE requirements, and this threshold and bar is being lowered more and more. Previously, if you were a big outfit, then only you would worry about code compliance and conducting these type of studies. But in the effort to reduce arc flash incidents and improve electrical safety, the code requirements are becoming more stringent, which means that the volume of work in this space is increasing. One of the best things about being a power system specialist is that a lot of this work is in many ways like that of a software engineer, where you can be working on a very defined scope in silo by yourself, and that opens up remote work opportunities. As you know, I help students prepare for FE Electrical and Computer as well as the PE Power exam. Once the students graduate from my program, take these exams, pass these exams, become licensed professional engineers, many of them get promoted, take on leadership roles in technical and management capacities, and some of my students have gone on and started their own consulting firms. One of the areas where I find my former students successfully set up their consulting firms and provide services is in this very space, that is power system studies. Because if during your career you have been accumulating this skill set of doing short circuit studies, arc flash studies, protective device coordination, load flow studies, motor starting studies, grounding studies, then you can provide those services on your own as a professional engineer with the proper skill set to a wide range of clients in different industries. And the best part is that you can also be operating as a single operator. Another advantage of becoming a power system study specialist is that there's very little to no overhead. You don't necessarily need to have a huge head count in order to set up your consulting firm as a power system study provider. Obviously, there is cost associated with licensing of these softwares such as SKM, ETAB, having proper insurances in place, payroll, taxes. All of these costs obviously are going to be there, but you don't need any type of big machinery, office space, especially if you're starting slow. And even if you continue growing under the umbrella of your employer, under the umbrella of an established MEP firm, or while working for a utility in the production and control department, your skills are always going to be in demand. Because the timeline that I provided you, starting out as a junior engineer, working on multiple projects, getting exposed to different levels of complexity, and carrying out these studies under different scenarios takes time. It is very difficult to learn this skill in a very short period of time. You have to get your hands dirty on real life projects. There are courses out there that can help you learn the tools a little bit faster, but becoming a power system specialist is more than just learning how to use the tools. You have to go from point A to point Z multiple times in order to appreciate the complexities, the curveballs that can be thrown at you, and developing those rules of thumbs that can help you keep the momentum going on a project. If you're a power system study specialist or aspire to become one, feel free to share your thoughts, suggestions, comments, questions in the comment section of this video. I've always found power system study specialists to be very well-rounded, technically very strong, because they have to be. When you're making these simplifications, creating a model, running different studies, creating reports, making these recommendations, you have to be able to connect the dots. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. On a weekly basis, I'm creating content related to electrical engineering with a focus on power systems engineering. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next episode.